द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं गुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि। ॐ हां हां हों शिवाय नमः। ॐ 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 नमः। We will now be entering into the Tattvachmanam, the ritualistic cleansing of the mouth. Please take your Panchapatrams and Udharanis in your hand and place your hand in the Gokarana Mudra. Please take a sip of water from the base of your palm along with the mantra. Om Atmatattvam Shodhayami Swadha. Om Vidyatattvam Shodhayami Swadha. Om Shivatattvam Shodhayami Swadha. Please wash your hand. Now, with the base of your right hand thumb, wipe your lips twice from right to left along with the mantra. Om Ham Hridayaya Namaha. Wash your hand with an udharani of water. With the tips of your right hand, index, middle, and ring fingers joined together, touch above the upper lip and below the lower lip. Wash your hands with an udharani of water. With the tips of your right hand, index finger, and thumb joined together, touch your right nostril, left nostril. With the tips of your right hand, ring finger, and thumb joined together, touch the right eye, right ear, left ear. Wash your hands with an udharani of water. Now at the base of your right hand, touch your navel center, right chest, left chest. And with all five fingers joined together, touch the top of your head, right shoulder, left shoulder, and your heart center. Wash your hands with an udharani of water. We will now be entering the Sankalpa, the conscious resolution. Please clasp your left hand with your right and place it on your right thigh. And as we enter into the Sankalpa, hold a conscious visualization of the reality you want to manifest. What is a conscious manifestation? How do you want to consciously design your body, your mind? Hold that conscious visualization. See that it has already manifested. As we enter into the Sankalpa, Om Mamopartha Samasta Duritakshayadvara Bhagavat Shri Nithyananda Paramashiva Prityartham Shri Nithyanande Evam Guna Visheshena Vishishtayam Asyam Shubhaditau Purana Arogya Yukta Rishe Om Apaupasprit. Please wash your hands with an udharani of water.
Nithyanandam, let us study and practice within your own limits. Let us now stand in front of you. From a seat, palms upward as upward as Let us now continue to the next asana. Gudasana, perineum pose. From a seated position on your knees, keep the tops of your feet down and cross one foot over the top of the sole of the opposite foot. Rest your sitting bones directly above the top heel and keep your spine tall, balanced evenly. Rest your hands on top of your respective thighs and avoid leaning heavily on one side or slumping the shoulders. Hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Samavriddhi, slightly contracting the throat and drawing the breath slowly in through the nostrils, producing Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
गुडासना पादयोः पृष्ठके चोभे यस्य भुवि संस्थिते गुडं मध्ये तु संस्थाप्य गुडासनमिति स्मृतम्.
Next, we move on to Gokilasana, cowherd pose. From a seated position on your knees, keep the top of your feet down and cross one foot over the top of the sole of the other foot. Rest your sitting bones directly above the top heel and keep your spine tall as you hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Samavritti, inhaling through the strain. Hold the Mula Bandha and the Japa as Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
गोकिलासना गोचामोपरि या सिद्धेत् गोकिलासनमुच्यते.
Next, we move on to Anavatinayai Asana. From a seated position, place each foot onto the opposite thigh, and lengthen your spine upward, lifting through the crown of the head as you hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Prakriti Kumbhaka. In Prakriti Kumbhaka, you suck the air through a loud Va in Mula Bandha and chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoha.
ആനവതിനയാസന ആരവത്തിനെ ഏഴു വാലേലും പൂവേൽ മുടിവാനം പാതരത്തി വത്തിക്കട്ടു.
Next, we move on to Pranasana way, continuing to remain seated in Padmasana. Bring your hands on the respective thighs in holding the Bindu Mudra. Inhale deeply through both the nostrils, filling the lungs completely. Exhale forcefully through the nose in short breaths like a bellow stoking the fire in Pastrika Kumbhaka. Holding the Shambhavi Mudra, clenching the perineum in Mula Bandha, chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
प्राणासनं नाम पद्मासनं समस्थया प्राणायामा.
Next, we move on to Jwala Padmasana, the flaming lotus pose. Sitting in Padmasana, this time raise your arms. Quickly rise up onto your knees and stack the hips on shoulder on top of them. In Shuddha.
ज्वालपत्रसमाप्ते हस्तौ प्रतीत्य ललाटं व्यवधीय चेत्
So continuing to release above the floor and lower your hip above the floor, supporting the lower back with your hands. Or you can come up, raise your legs and then fold into Padmasana, whichever way it is easy for you. But lift your hips and then hold the Padmasana with the legs. As you hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Prakriti Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha and Japa as Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Back to Padmasana. As you quickly raise your arms out to the sides at an angle, hands making a fist. As you hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Antara through the nose, hold the breath for a short while and then slowly release through the nostrils. As you hold the Mula Bandha and chant the Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
Purita Padmasana. पादयुग्ममुदीप्य पतनार्थं विमोचयेत् पूर्णचक्रसमाप्ते शीघ्रमेव प्रियम् अवर्तयेत् हस्तयो युगमं पृष्ठा व्यवस्थिता ललाटम् अधलो याति तथा धारयेत्.
Next, we move on to Dhurmanatha Asana. So, sitting in Padmasana, place your hands chest upright, hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Bastrika Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha, and Japas Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. In Bastrika Kumbhaka, you will inhale and exhale forcefully through the nose, keeping the breath strong yet even. After several rounds, take a deep inhale, hold the breath, and throat and root lock the exhale slowly.
अथ धूर्मनाथासना.
Next, we move on to Muttirayil Meru Asana. Muttirayil Meru Asana. From a seated position, place each foot onto the opposite thigh in Padmasana. Place your hands on the respective knees and visualize as the great Mount Meru. Engage the Mula Bandha in an active inner heat, keeping spine perfectly upright. As you hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Bastrika Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha and Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
ಮುತ್ತಿರೈಲಮಂಧು ಮೇರುಪೋನಿರಯಿತು ಉಲಂಕಿಯೈತಾಯುಚು.
Next, we move on to Shavasana, steady pose. Continuing to remain seated in Padmasana. Please lengthen your spine and relax your shoulders as you ground through the sitting pose. Rest your palms gently on the top of the respective knees, keeping the chest open and breath steady. Hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Bastrika Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha and Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
अथ सभासना.
Next, we move on to Madhyasanam, middle seated pose. Hands in your lap, left palm cradling the right, thumb slightly touching to form a soft circle. Let your gaze rest downward or close your eyes, breathing slowly as you root through your sitting bones. Hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Bastrika Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha and Japa Om.
मध्यासनम् अग्रासनं च प्रथमं परस्वादासनं प्यधं मध्यासनं तथैव न्यात् सिंहासनमपि उच्यते.
Next, we move on to Upadhanasana, pillow pose. So come down, laying down on your back. Raise one leg. Raise your right leg and bring the right foot behind your neck. and palms up, hands by your side. As you hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Ujjayi Kumbhaka, slightly contract the throat and draw the breath slowly in through the nostrils, producing the sound of the ocean. Retain the breath within, then release slowly through the nostril. As you hold the Mula Bandha and chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
अथ उपधानासना.
Now repeat the Upadhanasana, Parshvantri on the other side, raising the other foot behind your head.
अथ उपाधानासना.
Now we move on to Yoga Nidrasana Purvanga, the yogic sleep pose preliminary. Now raise both feet above and behind your head and cross your ankles behind your head as you wrap your arms around behind your back. In Yoga Nidrasana, as you hold the Parashamudra interlacing the fingers, Ujjayi Kumbhaka, making the sound of the ocean with your breath, clench the perineum in Mula Bandha and the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
योगनिद्रासना. योगनिद्रासनं नाम पादौ शिरसि संस्थाप्य हस्तौ च पृष्ठे भद्वा निद्रावस्थं समाचरेत्.
Next, we move on to Markata Asana. Trini, Markata Asana Trini, monkey pose 3. Laying on your back, raise both legs up, straight up, but the hips are on the mat. Arms by your side, palms facing down on the floor, on the mat. As you hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Samavritti Kumbhaka. Samavritti, inhaling through the nose and exhale evenly, maintaining the rhythmic breath without straining the neck. Hold the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham in Markatasana Trini.
भूमौ मस्तकतोऽन्यथा कुर्यात् उत्थाय वेगन्नादं दशिष्टिमर्कटं तु तत्.
Next, we move on to Kabandasanam. So here, in Kabandasanam, please come to a seated position with the legs extended in front of you and gently twist your body to the opposite side looking up. So basically, when you come seated, legs extended, twist your body to the right side, placing both hands on the right side. Just your neck turns and your face looks towards your left side. As you hold
कबन्धासनमित्याहुः गोरक्षासनमेव च अङ्गुष्ठमुष्टिकं ज्ञेयं ब्रह्मप्रासादितं तथा.
Now let's repeat the Kabandasanam on the other side. Bringing the arms. Yes, bringing the arms to the other side. Now twisting the face to the opposite side. Holding the Shambhavi Mudra, Samavritti and Mula Bandha.
कबन्धासना. कबन्धासनमित्याहुः गोरक्षासनमेव च अङ्गुष्ठमुष्टिकं ज्ञेयं ब्रह्मप्रासादितं तथा.
Next, we move on to Buddha Adharasana, Vice Embrace Pose. So coming down, laying on the mat. Bend your knees and place your feet flat on the ground, close to your hips. Rest around your ankles or lower legs. Press your feet to lift your hips upward, arching your back naturally. Keep your chest open, core engaged, and the breath steady while maintaining balance. As you hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Samavriddhi, and Mula Bandha, clench your perineum in Mula Bandha as you chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
उद आधार asana. कक्षयोपादसन्धिश्च धारणं पतथे बुधा उदर उदरस्कन्धयोश्चैव धारणं वरपादयोः.
Now we move on to Gravasanam, the neck pose. Now from this asana, as we transition, raise your hips completely above the floor and cross your arms over your chest as you lift your hip upward, creating an arched back. As you tilt your head back, bringing the weight onto the crown of your head so that only your feet and the head touch the ground. Engage your legs and core to maintain stability, keeping your chest open and spine arched. As you hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Samavritti, Mula Bandha, and Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
ग्रीवासनं शिरासनं तु विज्ञेयं कक्षासनमतः परं ग्रीवासनं च परमं भुजासनमिहुच्यते.
Next, we move on to Chakrasana Chatur. So from a supine position, bend your knees and place your feet flat on the ground next to your hips. Place your hands on the floor beside your head, fingers pointing towards the shoulders. Press into your hands and feet to lift your hips and chest upward, coming onto the crown of your head briefly if comfortable. Straighten your arms and legs as much as possible to form an arch like a wheel. Keep the breathing steadily, engaging the core and legs for support as you hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Samavritti, Mula Bandha, and Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
चक्रासना उत्थानसैकरङ्गुलीभिः कन्धविमुखैर्भूमौ निबद्धा पदमुक्षिप्य देहाभ्यं हस्तपादचक्षुषे निहत्य.
Now, laying on your back, we move on. Lay supine with your body straight. Raise one leg high, bring it forward. Position the sole of your foot to show its outer edge as per the traditional method. Keep the rest of the body relaxed, focusing on deliberate placement and control. Engage core stability and maintain steady breath. As you hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Samavritti, Mula Bandha, and Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
मृत्युभञ्जिकासना प्रथमस्येन सूढोः ज्ञाताने प्रबुद्धाय आगाने आने बहुरपगतलिको यो राखे कोरवार्निया विदिदाके.
Next, we move on to Halahasana Dve, the flow pose 2. Above the head and bring it behind your head on the floor. As you raise your hip and arms are extended by your side. As you hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Murcha Kumbhaka, inhaling deeply through the nose, then lock the chin to the chest in Jalandhara Bandha. Hold the breath and then slowly exhale through the nose, maintaining the throat lock. As you hold the Jalandhara Bandha, Japa is Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
हलाहासना पृष्ठशयिनौ हस्तौ द्वयं कटिसमीपे धृतं निधाय कटिपादौ समोन्नीय सिद्धं भूयं नयेत् पादाङ्गुलीशीर्षोपरि भूमिः स्पर्शं कुर्यात् शून्यभावेन हालाकरं स्थित्यावतिष्ठेत्.
So continuing to remaining in the same position, bring your hands together and interlock the fingers in Halahasana Trini. As you hold the Parashamudra, Murcha Kumbhaka, Jalandhara Bandha, and Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
हलहासनं नाम पृष्ठे शयनः पदौ पृष्ठतः शिरसि स्थापयित्वा हस्तौ पृषे समं बद्ध्वा हलवद् विरम्भजेत्।
Now relax, come back to see laying down. Now this time we're going to raise your legs, raise your hip and support your lower back with your arms, completely making your body vertical, resting on the shoulders in Jwalasana Purvanga, holding the Shambhavi Mudra, Murcha Kumbhaka, inhaling deeply through the nose, then lock the chin to the chest in Jalandhara Bandha. Hold the breath and then slowly exhale as you chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
ज्वलासना सव्यदक्षिणं परिवर्त्य पादाङ्गुलिभिः भूमिस्पृशं कुर्यात् भूमौ अवाप्य ततः क्रियं शक्तिं सञ्चालयेत्।
Next, we move on to Jwalasana, remaining in the same position, supporting your back, the flame pose. This time, we are going to make the Kechari Mudra. Turn the tongue gently back and upward into the hollow of the mouth. Murcha Kumbhaka, inhaling deeply through the nose, then Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham and clench your perineum in Mula Bandha.
चोत्तोलयेत् करद्वयेन पार्श्वौ प्रसार्य जानुपादौ दीर्घयेत् कायगुरुं स्कन्दशिरोभ्यां हृदम्य भिद्नीयात् भण्डकुम्भके माहाशिखावत् ऊर्ध्वं सिद्ध्यवतिष्ठेत्।
Now we move to position, lean back so your back rests on the ground, lift your feet overhead, keep your hips aligned above your shoulders and bend your knees outward, bringing the soles of the feet together above your center. Bring your palms together with fingers pointed upwards above your groin and balance evenly on your upper shoulder. Upper shoulder blades, keeping your chest lifted, core engaged. As you hold the Anjali Mudra Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
त्रिशूलासनपूर्वाङ्ग हस्तामुद्रं व्योमी कृत्वा द्विधा स्थितः पादतले मणिबन्धेषु निधाय निपातयेत्।
In Trishulasana, the hips are above the floor. You're not flat on the floor. The hips are lifted and above the shoulders. Soma Devasmarana. Raise your hips first. Om Karnima. Raise your hips. Then bringing the feet together and making the knees wide. In Trishulasana. Now we move on to the next asana, the trident pose, Trishulasana. Again, from the seated position, lean back on your back, rest on the ground and lift your feet overhead. Keep your hips aligned above your shoulders, bend your knees outward, bringing the soles of the feet together above your center. Place the hands on your knees. This time, instead of hands in Namaskara Mudra, Jalandhara Bandhan, Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
त्रिशूलासना पूर्णकुम्भकं केवलायं शिरः स्कन्धो भूमि निधाय।
Next, we move on to Trishulasana Uttaranga. So, remaining in the same position, raising your Anjali Mudra above your groin and holding the Murcha Kumbhaka. Inhaling deeply through the nose, then lock the chin. Oham.
मुद्रां व्यज्य उरुप्रसाद्य पादं द्वयं समुत्तोल्य निपातयेत् श्वशीशानिरो द्वशीर्घौ सप्तवारं समाचरेत्.
Next, we move on to Jwalasana Uttaranga, the flame pose progression. This time, raising your hips above the floor, legs are straight, and this time we are not going to be supporting the lower back with the arms. Instead, the arms are by the side of your body, also above the floor vertically. So, holding the Shambhavi Mudra, Mursha Kumbhaka, Jalandhara Bandha, and Japa Zom Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Lift the hips above the floor as much as possible. Straighten your legs, and the arms are also by the side of the body if you can do it.
बाहौ धृतोनतौ कृत्वा कागे मध्ये समं निरुद्यात् बन्धकुम्भकस्य सप्तविभागो यन्त्रमा.
Now we transition into Halahasana Dve Purvanga. So raising your hips, raising your legs, bringing the legs and feet above the head and the feet touching the floor behind and above the head. In flow goes to preliminary. This time the arms, the hands are interlaced behind your head. As you hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Murcha Kumbhaka, Jalandhara Bandha, and Japa Zone Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
हलहासना मणिबन्धद्वयं कर्णशिखरयोः संयोज्य ऊर्ध्वं प्रेरयित्वा क्रियाशक्तिं सञ्चालयेत्.
Now we are moving on to Halahasana Dve Uttaranga, remaining in the same position. This time, hold the back of your knees and pull it towards your crown of your head. So bringing the feet above and behind your head, instead of the legs extended, you're going to hold on to the back of your knees and bring the knees towards your face. As the feet remain on the floor, as you hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Mocha Kumbhaka, Jalandhara Bandha, and Japa Zom Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
उभौ बाहुजनौ पृष्ठं परिगम्य सञ्चिन्त्य कर्णद्वयं निपीड्य रेचयेत्.
Next, we move on to Thadaki Asana. So, completely remaining on the floor, extend your legs, straighten your legs on the floor, lay down on the mat, extend your legs, and extend the arms above your head, bringing the hands together in Namaskara Mudra. Namaskara Mudra. As you hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Samavriddhi, Moolabandha, and Japa Zom Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
ताडकी मुद्रासना सभागशीर्ष सर्वांगा महामुद्रा च ताडगी भद्रकोणं भद्रपद्मं दण्डं पश्चिमतालकम्.
Release pose 2. Now bend your knees and wrap your arms around your knees as you raise your neck above the floor. As you hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Samavriddhi,
मुक्तासना अथ पवनमुक्तासना.
Next, we move on to Uttanasana, the intense stretch pose. laying on your back with the knees together. Bring your knees up to your navel while wrapping your arms around yet engaged. Maintain steady breath and focus as you hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Samavriddhi.
उत्तानासनद्वे देहं शवत्वे कृत्वा जानुनी संयुत्य नाभौ नीया बाहुग्रीवं वेश्यान्दोलमुत्तानासनमिदम्.
Next, we move on to Kurmasana Pancha, the turtle pose 5. Here, from a seated position on your knees, keep the top of your feet flat on the ground outside of your hips. Slowly lean back on as you bring your hands to the soles of your feet and thumbs on your big toes. Rest your elbows on the ground behind you and tilt your head backwards, gazing behind you, keeping your chest up and spine long. Hold the Kurma Mudra, drawing the senses inward, becoming still and withdrawn like a tortoise within the shell. Hold the Samavriddhi, inhaling through the nose and exhale, evenly maintaining rhythmic breath without strain. Clench your perineum in Mulabandha and chant to Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
कूर्मासन पंच जानुपतिपृष्ठं भूमौ निखिलं स्थाप्य अङ्गुष्ठपादाङ्गुष्ठा चतुष्टयं संयोजयेत्. हासचिह्ने कुम्भकस्य अर्धभागेन वक्षा प्रोताप्य शिरो भूमौ नामयेत्.
From here, we move on to Kurmasana Pancha Purvanga, the turtle pose 5 preliminary. This time, instead of your hands holding onto the feet, the hands would be supporting your lower back as you raise your hips. And bring the crown of the head to the floor as you hold the Kurma Mudra.
हस्तद्वयं भूतले निधाय पार्श्वकायं प्रेरयेत्. ललाटं धृतं भूमौ नामयित्वा शक्तिं सञ्चालयेत्.
Progression in Chakra Uttaranga. From a seated position on your knees, bring your hands on the ground behind you. Slowly bring your elbows onto the ground and then hands to the lower back, just above the hips. Tilt your head back and long and bring the crown of your head onto the ground, keeping your hips high off your neck. From there, release your hands and hold on to the top of your feet as you intensify the bend in your back and rotate your forehead down onto the ground, holding the Shambhavi Mudra, Samavritti, Mulabandha and Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
उष्टव्यामेकरपादयुग्मलं संयोज्य कूर्चद्वयं भूमौ धत्य मूर्धानं.
Next, we move on to Kurmasana Pancha Uttaranga, the turtle pose 5 progression. Previous asana, we are going to raise your hip as well as your chest vertically above your head, bringing the crown of the head onto the floor and arms extended, holding onto the respective thighs. As you hold the Kurma Mudra, Samavriddhi, Mulabandha and Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
जानो धृत्वा शिरो नभसि निधाय पृष्ठं प्रसार्य प्रेरयेत्.
Coming to a kneeling position, toes tucked in and hands in Namaskara Mudra. Holding the breath in Samavritti, inhaling through the nose and exhaling evenly. Clench your perineum.
Manjanikasana. भुवि स्थित्वा तु जानुभ्यां तावन्मात्रेण योगिना हृदि हस्तपुतं कार्यं
Next, we move on to Shashangasana, the rabbit pose. So, remaining from the kneeling position, bend forward as you bring the forehead to the floor and wrap your arms around your thighs, interlacing the fingers and holding onto the respective heels. In Shashangasana, as you
Shashangasana.
Now we move on to Yana. Arms extended by your side. As you lift your chest and upper thigh off the ground. Feet are on the ground. You just extended your upper body. So, Omkar, upper body up. Yes. As you hold the Shamari Mudra, Ujjayi Kumbhaka Mula Bandha and Japa is Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
Yautari lage paschimalaco pasare kare panja paga jugala sthiri dhare tuntana parita paratinat dharana paschima nanana.
Next, we move on to Nubjasana Dve. So, remaining in the same position, this time bending your knees, holding your knees, bringing the feet towards your buttocks, and raise your chest as you bring your hands to hold on to the respective feet as you lift your chest and to the respective feet as you lift your chest and look forward. As you hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Ujjayi Kumbhaka with the breath, Mula Bandha and Japa is Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
Nubjasana dve. तथा दश्च अधः शयनं शृङ्गयोपरि परिसमर्पयन् करकृच्छाभ्यं पादाङ्गुष्ठं गृह्य भ्राजयेत् निब्जासनं भवति.
Now we move on to Mandukahasana, way. So remaining in the same position, bringing your feet, pressing your feet against your buttocks, raising your chest and lifting your chest and looking forward as you hold the Manduki Mudra, closing your mouth and subtly move the tongue root, savoring the inner nectar as you hold the Ujjayi Kumbhaka, making the sound of the ocean with your breath. Mula Bandha and Japa is Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
हस्ताङ्गुष्ठपादाङ्गुष्ठं यथाविधि संयोज्य हाकारवेगेन रेच्य स्थित्पीड्या पृष्ठं व्यजेत् उभौ पादौ पार्श्वयोर्भूमि निक्षिप्य धृतम् अर्धकुम्भसमये मण्डूकारूपं तिष्ठेत्.
From here, you're going to raise your knees also above the floor and your chest above the floor and holding onto the respective feet. Only resting your body on your hips, completely coming above above the floor as you hold the Manduki Mudra. Close the mouth and subtly move the tongue, root savoring the inner nectar, holding the Ujjayi Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha and Japa is Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
ऊरुभेदेन पादाङ्गुष्ठौ हस्तयुग्मेन गृहीत्वा कक्षोपरि नेतव्यौ संहृत्य व्याघ्र्यं समाचरेत्.
Next, we move on to Mandukahasana Uttaranga. Here, we are going to raise your legs and bring your feet by your face on both sides, on the sides of your face, as you hold on to the respective feet with your hands. As you hold the Manduki Mudra, Ujjayi Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha, and Japas Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
पादद्वयं स्कन्धयोधृतं निधाय हस्तयुग्मं समीभन्द्य हनुं तत्रैव निहन्यात् सङ्कुचकुम्भकम्
Relax. Next, we move on to Mandukahasana. Next we move on to Samstarakasana. Just drawing on your left side and draw your knees in towards your chest, settling into a gentle fetal position, placing your left elbow on the ground and rest the side of your head onto your left palm for support. Allow your right hand to extend and relax on your right thigh. Keep your body soft and your breath slow. As you rest, come for Shivoham.
अथ संस्तारकासना
Mantra, strewing pose repeated on the other side.
अथ संस्तारकासना.
Next, we move on to Dakshinasana Dve, southern facing pose 2. So, extending your legs as you lay on your right side, supporting your head with your right hand as you extend the arm by your side. Your left hand is resting on the body. As you hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Ujjayi Kumbhaka Mula Bandha Japas Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
दक्षिणासनद्वे दक्षिणपार्श्वे सुप्ते समच्छन्न शरीराङ्गने मुखं दक्षिणहस्तेन धार्यम् उद्यम्य सन्निवेश्य च बीजम् उच्चारित्वा वन्दे श्रद्धया.
Now slow and chest above, but supporting with your palms on the floor by your chest, lifting your feet above the floor. As we move on to Bhujangasana Dve, hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Ujjayi Kumbhaka Mula Bandha and Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
योगजैन हस्तलिखिता पुस्तकस्य प्रथमापत्रे अष्टादशचारित्रे भुजङ्गासनं प्रकाशितम्.
Next, we move on to Patangasana, the moth pose. So, laying on your belly, extending the legs flat on the floor, arms by your side, hands underneath your hips, and bringing the chin to the floor. Rest your forehead gently, the chest and belly towards the mat. Hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Ujjayi Kumbhaka, Mula
Bandhasana.
From here, we are moving on to kneeling position, and then lean forward as you extend the arms by the side of your head and forehead on the floor. Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
उष्ट्रासनत्रिणीतिद्वये मस्तकं वाकृष्टो वस्त्रयः स्थितिस्तदासनं नाद.
Now come to a seated position. Feet flat on the floor, knees bent, as you rest your palms on the knees. Spine tall, as you hold the Shakti Chalana Mudra, awakening the base energy with steady intent, drawing your prana upward through the spine. Hold the Antaranga Kumbhaka as you clench your perineum in Mula Bandha and japa as Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
अथ धामकासना.
Remaining seated in the same position, now cross your arms as you hold on to the opposite elbows. In Chala Asana, this asana you will be holding the Shambhavi Mudra, Apakarsha Kumbhaka. Partially close the nose while performing the inhalation and exhalation. Hold the Jalandhara Bandha by tucking the chin to the chest and japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Now, remaining seated in the same position, we are moving on to Kailasa Asana, staff pose. In this asana, you remain seated in the same position, this time bringing your index finger over the respective ear, scaling off all sound as you tilt your head down and gaze towards the nose. As you hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Apakarsha Kumbhaka, Jalandhara Bandha and Apakarsha Kumbhaka, Jalandhara Bandha and Japa is Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Next, we move on to Brahmanandasana. So, remaining seated in the same position, this time bringing the arms underneath your knees as you hold on to the respective opposite elbows. Hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Apakarsha Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha. This time, the bandha is different. Clenching your perineum in Mula Bandha. Chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
अथ ब्रह्मानन्दासना.
Next, we move on to Vilapasana. In this asana, remaining seated in the same position, raise your heel off the floor. The feet are not flat. Mudra with your hands interlacing the fingers. Apakarsha Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha, Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Next, we move on to Bhumaka Asana. So start seated with the soles placed on the ground and knees bent upward, keeping the feet closed. So remaining seated in the same position, feet flat on the ground. Bring your hands to one side of the body, keep your palms turned upward as they rest on the ankles. Maintain an upright chest and hold the position steadily and a balanced gaze in smoke producing pose. Interlock your fingers and extend your arms straight, bringing your hands to the one side of your body.
अथ धूमकासना.
Now, Adasana way, the platform pose 2, remaining seated in the same position. Now, hold on to the respective knees with your palms. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
पीठासनद्वे. आसनस्थेन पादौ तौ न्यस्यतौ भूतले समौ जानुहये हस्ततलं कृत्वा पीठासनं भवेत्.
Now we move on to Kanakayasana, the golden pose. So start on your toes and knees. Raise your knees off the ground. Keep the sitting bones on your back heels. Wrap your arms around your back with palms facing outward, bringing your forehead down, ready for stability as you hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Apakarsha Kumbhaka, Jalandhara Bandha by tucking the chin to the chest, and Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
अथ कनकैलासना.
Now come to a seated position, feet flat on the ground, wrapping your arms around your knees. As you hold the Shamari Mudra, Apakarsha Kumbhaka, Jhalandra Bandha by tucking the chin to the chest, and Japa is Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
चर्मगोश्वास्यासना अथ चर्मगोश्वास्यासना.
Next, we move on to Dhyanti Harasana, the knot removing pose. So, holding on to the knees, this time raise your feet above the ground as your feet are wider than the hip. As you hold the Shamani Mudra, Apakarsha Kumbhaka Mula Bandha Japa is Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
अथ ग्रन्थिहरासना.
Next, we move on to, so keeping your feet flat on the floor, twist your upper body to one side and clasp your hands behind your back. Straighten your arms and lift your chest and spine tall as you twist your neck and gaze over the upper open shoulder. Hold the Vaishnavi Mudra, Apakarsha Kumbhaka Mula Bandha and Japa is Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
वक्रक्षुरासना. अभ्यासेक्षोपूरक्ष्ये दक्षिणकक्षा वामजानौ नितरं न्यसेत्. वेष्टन कौशलयुक्ता पिण्डं वामभिमुखं परिवर्तयेत्.
So bend your left foot and place it over the wrist firmly to secure the bind. Twist your torso sharply to the left and like a dagger being drawn from to the sheath. Remain inwardly, holding the Apakarsha, Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha, Japa Om Nithyananda Param.
वामं पादमकुञ्च्य दक्षिणोरुपरि स्थापयेत्. दक्षिणभुजेन जानुं पुरस्तात् पृष्ठतो वेष्टयेत्. वामहस्तेन वेष्टनं मणिबन्धे धृतं गृहीत्वा वामभिमुखं गात्रं कृपानन्द इव परिवर्तयेत्. Now, continue to remain in the same position, placing your right foot over the left thigh and bending your knee outwards. Now, press your right to the left, using this bind to deepen the twist. You'll be interlacing your fingers at the back. Visualize yourself wielding the curved knife while your awareness remains inwardly absorbed. Hold the upper akshaka kumbhaka. Partially close the nose. Paramashivoham. Vakrakshura uttaranga. Dakshinam padam makunchya vamo vrunnilat. The next asana is Marajida asana, the death conquering pose. Place your left foot onto your right hip, allowing the knee to relax downward. Bring your right foot flat on the ground, outside of your left knee for stability. Place your hands together in the Namaskara Mudra as you visualize long held knots in the body and the mind loosening one by one. Marajidasana. Atha Marajidasana. The next is and place the foot flat onto the ground. Draw the opposite foot up and towards you and press it firmly into the armpit of this. Engage your core to maintain stability as you Hold the foot in place with one arm, and your other arm will be placed on your knee in the Bindu Mudra. Mula Bandha as you gaze towards the side. Continue to chant Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Kakshasanam. क्रीडासनं तु विज्ञेयं कक्षासनमतः परं ग्रीवासनं च परमं भुजासनमिमुच्यते. The next is Vakra Shirasana Purvanga Parshvantare. So we'll be repeating the curved knife pose on the other side. Now come back to the seated position, and this time you will be placing your left foot on the outside of your right knee behind your back. Here you'll be visualizing as you continue to chant Om Nithyananda Paramasivoham. Vakra वक्रक्षुरासनरम्यसेत् वेषनकौशलयुक्ता पिण्डं वामभिमुखं परवर्तयेत्. We will be now entering into the Vakrakshurasana. Continue to remain in the same position. So here, instead of clasping your hands together, you'll be grasping your right wrist with your left hand. Visualize yourself as a radiant curved knife, gleaming with fierce compassion and divine power. Hold the upper Akshaka Kumbhaka Vaishnavi Mudra Mulabandha as you continue to chant Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Vakrakshirasana. Vamam Padamakuncha Dakshinorupari Sapayet Dakshinabhujena Janam Purastat Prishnato Vaishnaget Vamahastena Vaishanam Manibande Dridam Suhitva Vamabhimukam Gatram Kudilakripananda Eva Paravartayet. The next is Vakrakshirasana Uttaranga. Continue to remain in the same position and rotate your torso to the side using the spine to deepen the twist. So in the same position, you'll just be going into a deeper twist. Visualize yourself wielding the curved knife with increasing skill and grace. Hold the Vaishnavi Mudra Aparakshaka Kumbhaka Mula Bandha as you continue to chant Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham in Vakrakshurasana. Dakshina Kakshaya Vamanajam Hridam Samugvinuyat. The next asana is Marajidasana Parshvantare. We'll be repeating the death conquering pose on the other side. So whichever leg you had put previously, just repeat it on the other side. Seating with your spine upright and hips grounded, place your right foot onto your left hip, allowing the knee to relax downward and bring your left foot flat onto the ground outside of your right knee. Place your hand change and impermanence, loosening its grip over you. Hold the Namaskara Mudra Aparakshaka Kumbhaka Mulabandha as you gaze straight in the Vijay Drishti. Marajidasana. Atha Marajidasana. The next is Kakshasanam Parshvantare. So this is the armpit pose repeated on the other side. Now you'll be from a seated position, you'll be bending the opposite knee, placing your foot flat onto the ground, and drawing the opposite foot up towards you and pressing it firmly into the armpit. Your respective hand will be holding your leg, keeping it secure in your armpit as the opposite hand rests on your knee in the Bindu Mudra. Visualize your armpit as a sacred hidden chamber within your body. Nyayam Kakshasanam Param Grivasanam Cha Paramam Bhujasanam Uchyate. The next asana is Gorakshasana Twins. This is the sage Gorakshas pose. And you can release your legs slowly. Now come to a seated position and bring the soles of your feet together in front of you as you push your heels upwards towards you. Now rotate the balls of the feet and toes onto the ground. Keep the knees wide and cross your hands in front of you. Visualize Sage Goraksha as a radiant beacon of wisdom and spiritual power. Hold the Vaishnavi Mudra, Aparakshaka Kumbhaka Mudra, Angushtamushtikam Niyam Brahma Prasaditam Tatha. The next is Chanderi Asana. This is the fierce goddess pose. Now come to a seated position and stretch your legs in front of you. Bring both your legs straight out in front of you. Keep your spine straight and chest upright. And bring your hand to your nose. Seal the nostrils on one side at a time with your thumb. Alternating in dominance, yet equal strength. For the Shambhavi Mudra, here we will be performing the Nadi Shodhana Kumbhaka. So you'll be closing your right nostril with your thumb, inhaling through your left slowly, hold as long as comfortable, and then exhale slowly through your right nostril. Repeat this in cycle. Continue to hold the Mula. Atha Chanderi Asana. You'll now be entering into the next asana with your heels drawn close to your buttocks and your weight grounded through your shins. So only your knees will be touching down. You'll be uh, you'll be raising your heels up, bringing them towards your buttocks, and place your hands in the Namaskara Mudra. Visualize the hip joints as strong, well-oiled hinges, stable yet capable of smooth controlled movement. Hold the Namaskara Mudra, Pratyahara Kumbhaka. You'll be inhaling deeply, holding your breath while withdrawing your senses and bringing your attention inward as you hold as long as comfortable. Hold the Mula Bandha, rigid Drishti as you continue to chant Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Atha Uruparshvasana. The next asana is Dvipada Parshvasana. Now, continue to remain in the same position, up towards the inner groin. So here, instead of your heels being behind you on your buttocks, they'll come in the front as much as possible. Try to place them in front of your thighs, bringing them as close as possible to the groin. Visualize your foundation narrowing without losing balance. Hold the Namaskara Mudra, Pratyahara Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha, as you continue to chant Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Dvipada Parshvasana. Atha Dvipada Parshvasana. The next asana is Vicharanathasana. This is the contemplation Lord pose. Now start seated. You can come to a seated position and start seated on your knees and pull one foot back into the armpit of the respective arm. Repeat with the opposite leg. And place your hands in front of you in the Namaskara Mudra as you keep your chest upright. Wordless question. Hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Pratyahara Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha, as you gaze towards your third eye in the Bhrumadhya Drishti. Vicharanathasana, Asana, the immovable feminine pose. Now come to a seated position as you place your legs in Padmasana, in the crossed lotus pose, and bring your hands to hold onto the opposite arms. Cross your arms in front of your chest, holding onto your opposite elbows. Visualize seated as the unmoving center of intersecting currents. Hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Pratyahara Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha, as you gaze towards your nose in the Nasagra Drishti. Achaliyasana. Atha Achaliyasana. The next asana is Sudradasana. This is the firm pose. Continuing to remain in Padmasana, you'll just be changing the position of your arms, placing them on your respective knees, holding the Bindu Mudra. Visualize yourself settled in unwavering stability. Shapadam chavamor mule vinyasya tatpadam dakshoru mula pitartham kalpat. Continue to remain in Padmasana. And over here, you'll just be changing the position of your arms. So you'll be sliding your hands beneath your respective thighs with the palms flat on the ground. Visualize yourself established in completion, as if nothing more needs to be fixed, proven, or attained. Hold the Vaishnavi Mudra Pratyahara Kumbhaka Mula Bandha as you gaze in the Riju Drishti. Gaze straight in front of you. Siddhasana Pancha. Atha Siddhasana. The next asana is Vayu Dharanasana. This is the wind retention pose. Continue to remain in Padmasana in the cross-leg position. And over here, you'll be resting your hands on your respective Vayu upwards, allowing them to merge at the navel center. This is the Prakriti Kumbhaka, sucking the air with a loud vast. Visualize a timeless pause where breath is held and suspended in serene balance. Hold the Prakriti naturally happen with the Prakriti Kumbhaka. Gaze towards your nose in the Nasagra Drishti as you continue to chant Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Vayu Dharanasana. Apanam Urdhvam Kritva Vayum Dharayantishthet. The next asana is Nyubjasana. This is the chin. You'll be locking your chin in the Jalandhara Bandha, tucking your chin towards the chest firmly. Visualize a protective gateway at your throat, sealing luminous energy, guiding the spiritual center. Hold the Shambhavi Mudra Prakriti Kumbhaka. Nasagra Drishti as you gaze towards your nose. Continue to chant Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nyubjasana. उभयपार्नियुगं जान्वोराधाय कटिपृष्ठे समे कृत्वा हस्तेन नाभिम् उत्थाप्य दुत्तन्यालभेन गुरुदृष्टेन इदपिङ्गले भेदनीयात्. The next asana is Samyukta Padmasana. This is the entwined lotus pose. Continuing to remain in Padmasana, you'll be reaching both of your hands behind your back, grasping the big toe of each foot, of your respective foot. Try as much as you can to hold on to your respective feet. What you can do is you can enter into a deeper Padmasana. Try to cross your legs into a deeper Padmasana so your hand reaches your feet. Visualize two lotus flowers whose stems intertwine gracefully. Hold the Kechari Mudra, where you'll be turning the tongue gently back and upwards into the hollow of the mouth. Hold the Shanti Kumbhaka, inhale and visualize the Prana Vayu being inside and outside of the body. Continue to hold the Mula Bandha, Nasagra Drishti, gazing towards your nose as you chant Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Samyukta Padmasana. Padmasamayogasana Hastayorbhyam Sam. The next asana is Utthita Padmasana. This is the raised lotus pose. Continuing to remain in Padmasana, you'll now be you'll will now be entering into a dynamic asana. So from a seated position, place each foot onto the opposite thigh in Padmasana. Inhale and press your hands down onto the ground beside you as you lift your hips off the floor. Try as much as you can to lift as high as possible. Visualize yourself as a lotus flower emerging from muddy waters, pristine and radiant. Hold the Shambhavi Mudra Kevala Kumbhaka, allowing your breath to pause naturally as you observe it without force. Hold the Mula Bandha as you gaze straight in the rigid drishti. Continue to chant Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Utthita Padmasana. Padmasanastha Karatalabhyam Bhumim Samalambya Utthapya Sharirmurdhvam Utthita Padmasanam Vidu. The next is Lalita Padmasana. This is the suspended lotus pose. Continuing to remain in Padmasana, reach both of your hands together through the gaps of your groin and legs. Press your palms firmly onto the ground between them and shift your weight onto the arms as you lift your body up off the ground. Worldly attachments, pure and elevated. Hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Kevala Kumbhaka, Mulabandha, as you gaze in the rigid drishti. हस्तयोगुह्ये स्थाप्य पदयुग्ममुक्षिप्य च पूर्णचक्षरसमाप्ते संरोध्य स्थिरं धारयेत्. The next asana is Kampita Padmasana. This is the swinging lotus pose. Continuing to remain in Padmasana. Clench your hands into fists and place your knuckles down on the ground beside you, lifting your hips off the floor as you gaze downward to the ground in front of you. Visualize a lotus gently swinging back and forth, balanced yet rhythmic motion. Hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Kevala Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha, as you continue to chant Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Kampita Padmasana. Pada Yugma Mukshipya cha. The next is Kukkutasana Trini, the rooster pose. Now, continue to remain in Padmasana and reach both of your hands through your legs as you place your palms firmly onto the ground between them. Shift your weight onto your arms and lift your body upwards. Visualize yourself as a proud and alert rooster. Hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Kevala Kumbhaka Mula Bandha, as you continue to chant Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Kukkutasana Trini. Urumuladvayam Pidya Grahna Grihe Sthapaye Drishau Kukkutasana Me Tadvai Manasa Sthairya Karanam Urumu. The next asana is Jalandharasana. This is the throat lock pose. Continue to remain in Padmasana and place your hands between the gap in your calves and your thighs. Place your hands down on the ground, lifting your body off the floor. Visualize yourself lifting cleanly from the ground. Feel effort collecting upwards and then pausing at the throat. As you hold the Jalandhara Bandha, tucking your chin towards your chest in the Prithvi Drishti, Jalandharasana. अथ जालंधरासना. Down crested rooster pose. Now, continuing to remain in Padmasana, inhale. So you'll be placing your palms onto the ground in front of you as you inhale and lift off the ground. Your hands will be pressed in front of you on the ground, and you'll be lifting your hips off the floor and bringing your knees all the way up, resting them onto the back of your rooster's qualities, which is confidence, vigilance, and bold in spirit. Bandhachuli Kukkutasana. Panchachuli Kukkutam cha Ekapada Kukkutam Akaritam Bandhachuli Parshva Kukkutameva cha. The next is Padma Sarpasana. This is the snaking lotus pose. Now, continue to remain in Padmasana as you inhale and place your hands down on the ground in front of you, lifting your hips off the ground. So this is very similar to the previous asana. Visualize a coiled serpent resting at the base of your spine, embodying the dormant power of Kundalini Shakti. Hold the Bhujangani Mudra, opening your mouth wide and subtly drawing the prana inward. Hold the Kevala Kumbhaka Mula Bandha as you gaze towards the ground in Prithvi Drishti. Padma Sarpasana. हस्तयो भूमौ स्थापयेत् ऊर्णिकुक्षाय मध्ये आनीय भुजौ विस्तीर्णौ धृतौ कुर्यात्. The next asana is Parshva Kukkutasana. This is the side rooster pose. So continuing to remain in Padmasana, you'll be inhaling and pressing your hands down on the ground on your side. So we'll begin with the right side. Place your palms on the right and lift your hips up off the ground, resting them on the back of your straightened arm. Visualize a rooster standing alert on one leg, body turned to the side with a vigilant gaze. Hold the Parshva Kukkutasana. Panchachuli Kukkudam cha Ekapada Kukkudam Akaritam Bandhachuli Parshva Kukkutameva cha. Kukkutasana. Panchachuli Kukkutam cha Ekapada Kukkutam Akaritam Bandhachuli Parshva Kukkutameva cha. The next asana is Simhasana Chatwari. You can now relax, coming back down onto the ground. Continue to remain in Padmasana. You'll now be placing both of your hands on the ground in front of you as you rise onto your knees and then gently bring your groin down onto the ground, resting your knees and thighs down with your hands planted and arms straight. The fierce, majestic presence of a lion. Hold the Bhujangani Mudra, Antarangaka Kumbhaka. So you'll be quickly and forcibly inhaling through the nose, holding the breath for a short while, and then slowly releasing through the nostrils. Continue to hold the Mula Bandha as you gaze upward in the Urdhva Drishti. Continue to chant Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Simhasana Chatwari. Agrasana. The next asana is Padma Sarpasana Purvanga. This is a snaking lotus pose. As you gently lift up and off the ground. Visualize a graceful snake coiling around a radiant lotus. Hold the Bhujangani Mudra, Kevala Kumbhaka Mula. हस्तयो भूमौ स्थापयेत् ऊर्णिकुक्षय मध्ये आनीय भुजौ विस्तृणौ धृतं कुर्यात्. The next asana is Tolangulasana. This is the weighing scale pose. Continuing to remain in Padmasana. Lean back onto your elbows and place your palms facing upwards as you lean onto your sitting bones. On your sitting bones, raise your knees up towards the sky. Keep your chest lifted. Visualize yourself as a perfectly balanced scale, evenly poised between Tolangulasanam nama panibhyam padayorgihitva utthapya shariram samam tolayet angulivattulam. The next asana is Vakra Padmasana. So from the same position, just go to a lying down position with your visualize a lotus arcing upwards, petals opening strong and resilient. Hold the Prana Mudra, Kevala Kumbhaka Mula Bandha, as you gaze upward in the Urdhva Drishti. Continue to hold on to your feet. You'll be holding on to your feet in Vakra Padmasana. पादप्रणयतो ग्रह्णं कुर्वीता पृष्ठभ्यम् अकुर्वीता शिरोललाटे प्रतिनीयच्चेति. The next remain in a lying down Padmasana. you'll just be changing the position of your hands. So you'll be placing your hands above your head. You'll be reaching above your head with one arm crossed and the opposite extended straight above. Visualize an axe suspended in space, slicing through obstacles beside your body. Hold the Shambhavi Mudra, Kevala Kumbhaka Mulabandha, as you gaze upward. So over in Parashvadasana, Agrasanam cha prathamam Parashvadasanam pyadam Madhyasanam tathaiva Simhasanam api uchyate. The next asana is Parashvadasana Parshvantare. So we'll be remaining in the same position, just hold on to the opposite wrist, repeating it on the other side. Agrasanam cha prathamam Parashvadasanam pyadam Madhyasanam tathaiva Simhasanam api uchyate. We'll now be entering into the last asana for today, the Shmashana Vasana. This is the cremation ground dwelling pose. Now slowly relax, coming to a supine position, lying down on your back, body. As your shoulders soften into the mat, visualize your body lying in a cremation ground, embraced by sacred flames. See your bones transforming into diamond dust, rising on the wind and scattering into starlight. Hold the Shakti Chalana Mudra, awakening the base energy with steady intent, drawing your prana upward through the spine. Hold the Kevala Kumbhaka, allowing your breath to pause naturally as you observe it without force. Maintain a relaxed awareness as you continue to maintain the Mula Bandha, Shambhavi Mudra, and chant Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. श्मशानवासनम् आसाद्य देहं ध्यायेत् प्रज्वलित Now slowly start wiggling your fingers, your toes. Bring your knees to your chest as you rock side to side. Bring your awareness back to each part of your body. Now you can rock yourself to the side, coming back up to a seated position. And with this, we have officially concluded with 1000 asanas of the Panchama Vijnasa Krama. So hope all the viewers watching us live enjoyed. And if you program, a 30-day program happening in Guinea-Bissau and in India. And continue to tune in for tomorrow's live yoga as well. So with this, we'll be concluding with the Purna Mantra, offering our gratitude at the divine lotus feet of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnati Shanti Shanti Hari Om Tat Sat Sarvam Bhagavat Shri Nithyananda Paramashiva Padukarpanamastu Om Nithyanandam. Thank you everyone. Nithyanandam.